So we're going to go to old business. So just a couple more things. We need a city hall construction project update and your city manager's report. So I'm going to
Yeah,
turn it over to
I'm
you.
gonna share my screen really quickly here. Okay. If everybody can see that. Takes a second to, okay. So this is just a general high level overview schedule of the project. I think visually, I thought this would be helpful for the council and for members of the community to see broad brush strokes of what a timeline for the design and construction of City Hall looks like. This will be sort of our guiding tool as we talk through the timeline, and you'll see that as we get more into depth in certain elements of this, the timeline itself will become a little bit more detailed. But I did want to just give folks a quick update and have this visual as a helpful tool. So we're still kind of here in this team procurement phase. Right now, I'm working with our owner's rep to issue an architectural RFP that we are anticipating going out on December 15th, so next week. And our hope is to have that firm selected and ready for council discussion sometime in February, at the February meeting possibly. So that's where that's going. And that's a big step for us. Once we get the architect on board, we can start to develop a more robust community outreach plan with respect to phase one design. In addition, we're also working on the development of a construction manager general contractor RFP that we intend to release in early January. The CMGC, the taking a CMGC approach, so council will be discussing this in January because the CMGC approach takes a little bit different path than a normal bid process. We actually have to, you'll be asked to consider an exemption to the bid process to allow us to do a CMGC type of contract. For folks that don't know what that means, is a general contractor is a general contractor, construction manager, general contractor actually gets involved in the project very early on, and they have sort of a two-part contract. They help with the design part, so having them on early in the process allows the team, so the architect, the owner, and the contractor to work through the design process, and it actually creates a more robust analysis of costs early on. So that's the point of trying to get this team in early. And then the form of the construction contract comes as a guaranteed maximum price. So the city sets its total amount, project budget, and then the contractor has to deliver it based on that budget. So you will be presented with findings, and we will be having a discussion in January and a public hearing. We'll be noticing that later this month to take the steps forward that we need to in order to go forward with the CMGC process. So we're still pretty busy in the part of this project where we're procuring the team. Once we have the team together, then we will start to build out the design process and then the engagement that will go along with that. So more to come on that. The council has any questions, I would be glad to entertain them. I will say I don't have a ton of details on the CMGC exemption that the city attorney is working on those findings right now. So I'll have a lot more to talk to you about in January, but I just did want to make you aware that that is coming, and that's a necessary step for us to take prior to issuing the RFP. But that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually huge. And I just want to give a shout out to our owner's rep. They've been doing outstanding work. It's taken a huge load off my shoulders, and having their support and expertise is just been just a major boon to the project. So I want to thank them for that. And that's why we're able to move as quickly as we are on this. Did anyone have any questions about that?
I've got a quick question. Speaking of the owner's rep, the mayor mentioned the information that Randy Kugler presented to us tonight. And I don't think any of us have had a chance to pour over it too closely, but would that be, my assumption when I read it quickly was that that's something that CLOS should look at, both to assess it or analyze it for the benefit of yourself and council, but also because regardless of the merits of what is being presented, it's something that will presumably be discussed in the community that CLOS has to now conduct a community engagement process with. So I guess I'm hoping to hear that that is something you would use CLOS's expertise on.
In terms of responding to that or evaluating?
Well, evaluating, yeah.
Yeah, I actually shared that with them. And once we get the architect on board too, we'll, as we go through all of the, because the architect will be getting all of the past work that the PFAC did and everybody else did. And so just so folks know, like the beginning stages of this is really education and getting our team up to speed on all the different variations. And we will be examining that in detail. So I think the answer is yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just one other thing to add is that we did retain I'm in the process of retaining a broker to sell Old City Hall, and Valerie Schumann, who is a local commercial broker, has agreed to work with us. And I met with her on site last week. I think she's going to do a tremendous job for the city. Really enjoyed meeting with her and her passion for the site. So I feel like we're in really good hands. So I'm working with her right now to get all the necessary information that she's going to need in order to begin that process. So that's kicking along as well. And that
Layla, did she have any sort of initial reaction to the appraisal number?
She just got the appraisal report today, so not yet, but she will.
Gotcha.
I'm sure she will. So that's what I have right now on the City Hall project. Is there any other questions from folks? Okay. Okay, that's it for me on that.
You got anything on the city manager's report side?
I do have a couple of things, so I wrote it down, so I'll put my glasses on. I can't read. So just a couple things. I did want to note, as Councilor Spegman mentioned, that we did have a retreat with the council last month, and we did this in person because mostly I had a lot of things I wanted to share, and it felt important to do it face to face. And I think it was, as Councilor Spegman noted, a very insightful and helpful conversation. As a result of that, the council did ask me to provide that overview to the community, which was always my intent, but it's always great to have that additional support from council. And so we'll be looking to do a meeting in January where I will sort of review essentially everything I went over at that November meeting. We are continuing a discussion on goals that will happen on Monday at 1 o'clock, and we are doing that via Zoom. We're not currently set up to have both Zoom and in-person meetings. So we elected to move this meeting to Zoom, and so that folks from the community could listen into that. So that's happening at 1 o'clock. The focus of that meeting again will be around the goals, and then that will help inform the work plan for us as we move forward, and I'll be sharing that in January. A couple of other notes, just so folks know, the business license renewal has gone out, and we are doing that via email. We're trying to move to electronic, pretty much trying to get us moving into more of electronic approach to things, and so digital. So that might be a little clunky our first year, so we're working through that process, but I just wanted to make that note. So if any business owners are out there, we are trying to move everything online. We think it will become a lot easier for folks, but we may be missing some people's emails, so you'll get a letter in the mail, but the idea is that we're moving this towards digital, and it hopefully will make things more efficient for everyone. So if you haven't received the email from us, please give us a call and we would be glad to share the information. Otherwise, you'll probably get a letter in the mail from us. There will be no Planning Commission meeting in December, but Planning Commission will be held in January on the 24th. The 17th is our normal, or regular, I should say, meeting time, but that's Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So we have moved that meeting to the 24th at 4 p.m. and that will be on Zoom. Court will be held December 17th. And I just wanted to note, as we enter into the holidays, we'll be operating with a skeleton crew, but there will always be someone around. And I think all of us are excited that we're entering into the holiday season. But certainly just wanted to let folks know we will be here. I will be here, but that, as we get towards the holidays, things get quieter. And we are closed, obviously, on Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the New Year holidays, so the days that are being acknowledged. And I think that's all I got for today.
Okay.